Okay, yeah. What happens when a mega sport event comes to town? Think of the Olympics or the upcoming Super Bowl. The host city spends millions, if not billions, of public tax dollars planning and delivering their event. And for a brief moment, these events showcase the finest displays of athleticism and teamwork and the current limits of the human body's potential. But they're very brief. And when they're over, what does the city have to show for their millions and billions of public dollars spent? In the lead up to these events, the organizers develop a rhetoric for what's called the legacies, which are the impacts and the outcomes of the event. They'll promise that thousands of kids will learn to swim in that new pool, that the local businesses are going to benefit from an improved tourism economy, and that the whole city will come together with a renewed sense of city pride. But these promises are questionable at best and deceptive at worst, because in every single Olympic and Super Bowl host city since 1956, one or more of the following negative legacies have occurred: increased unemployment, increased homelessness, environmental degradation at the event site, excluded social groups, and unused or underused facilities. So why? Why does the reality not match the rhetoric? Since the 1980s, organizers have been trying to understand this question, but they've yet to crack the case, as you can see with the Rio Olympics. So my research took a slightly different approach. Instead of focusing on the legacies themselves, I went and talked to the people making the promises. For 2 years, I followed the organizers and the event politicians involved with the Toronto 2015 Pan Am Summer Games. I conducted an extensive document analysis and interviews to understand how these folks conceptualize legacy and what their goals are in relation to these. And let me tell you, in my findings, there's not one instance of the term legacy associated with any of those negative outcomes. Now, to be sure, they know that these negative outcomes exist and they're possible, but they're either unwilling or unable to associate that with their rhetoric. So I'm developing a theory that organizers work within a means-end rationale, or what Aristotle would have called techne, where in the end is a fully funded, publicly supported event in their city. And the means is a rhetoric that will overemphasize the positive and dismiss or ignore the negative legacies in a form of organized cognitive dissonance. And so my thesis is this: the rhetoric is nothing more than a hyped-up marketing tool designed to sell the event. In other words, it's a set of alternative facts. And the reality is the price we pay for not holding the organizers and our politicians accountable to their promise. Thank you.